immortals, capable of mistakes. The journey's not here to be agonized upon.
It is indeed. Welcome back, Mere Immortalites, to another edition of the Mere Immortals monthly goals, where we like to go back, reflect back on the monthly goals that were for us. And again, if any one of the Mere Immortalites also wants to partake in these live sessions, we try to do them around 8:30 in the morning, roughly at a monthly format, so you can always join in as well. And then we'll look at the monthly goals to come. You got one on this side of the mic.
And a hungover Kyrin.
A little bit of a hungover Kyrin. How many drinks, standard drinks, would you say were consumed yesterday by yourself?
I mean, 10 plus easily. But
10 plus easily.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I felt a bit woozy and I had 3.
Yeah.
I had 3 and I felt like, this is a bit much.
One of the ones I gave you was 2.5.
Correct. And I didn't finish the other one that you gave me. So it was like I had half of a 1.2 and a 2.4.
Yeah.
And that, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it already.
Yeah,
So,
it was fun, but yeah.
because we're talking about monthly goals, most people who might know me from when I was younger would say, Juan, he's the one who will, in a fun way, spike your drink for make it fun and drink some more. I'm telling you what, I reckon it would be
Spiking
it
your
would
own
be
drink
rare.
yesterday.
It would be very rare that moving forward into the future that I'll be drinking more than 15 times a year. I reckon, like 15 times in like an individual day. For sure, I'll still have when we have a Bucks night or we have like a night out or a drink with friends. But besides, I reckon it's literally 15 times in a year. So reduced in comparison to what it once was. But that's not really a goal. That was just it's come as life. Any case, let's look back at the October goals. We are in November the 2nd today. And I'm going to get straight into it. On October, I had 7 goals. I had one particular one, which was the dominant one in terms of effort. I could have a look at the hours that actually took me to do this, but it was volume. Here we come, 160 kilometers of running. And if you remember at all from the previous month, I had 150 kilometers and I failed that. And I managed to do that just at the very tail end. It was on the second last day that I managed to do that. Started off strong. Sickness was planning on putting me away from this, but I was like, nah, I've got to get it no matter what. So I got there, got done. And now it's starting to change up for the next month, but that one easily took up the most time. Sure. It wasn't complex. It was just, it takes time to do it. So I'm happy I got done. Recording the first in-depth body information podcast. Look, I put down as yes, but kind of because we hit it in a different angle together as opposed to what I was thinking of doing on my own. So I was like, okay, I'll take that because I've been dragging you along for a little while. Hitting the 6 times body weight ratio at 3 rep max with main lifts. Nah, did not hit that. If I do the maths, I was off 20 kilograms off. So 5.8 something multiplier or something like that. Yeah. So I did kind of a replan on how to hit the 6 times body weight, and looking some of the numbers, I was like, it might take me another 3 months of like preparation and whatnot to hit it again. So not impossible for this year, but I need to kind of like reset to go and hit that. I did lose some body weight though. Okay. Over the last couple of weeks, obviously, from some sickness as well. So I'm down at 88 kilos.
And you're at 90?
I was at 90 to 91, basically, like forever. I've been saying on this podcast, like, I haven't been able to shift it. Well, concuss yourself, get sick, don't train, don't eat very much. That's a surefire way to do it.
Let's go.
So anyways, that did not do that for the body. There's actually a couple out here that I've actually no. The other one around creating another high signal fun piece of content this month, I didn't do. I planned to do it. I had all the notes for it. I had all my raw content for it, and it was on the Thursday, and I was like, I'm just not feeling it. Something about my brain's not feeling good. Yes, there was a good reason as to why I shouldn't have done it, and I didn't do it. So, but as prepared, I'll be doing it at the start of this November, so it'll come along. Didn't do it. The 5th one was looking for the best ways to automate and make things efficient for the 3 interviews that I had in the month. So I did try that as much as possible. It wasn't end up being 3 interviews, it ended up being 2 interviews. But I did find ways to automate, especially the cutting of the guests in between me and putting the cameras. So there's a bit better operations there. And then the last 2, which was in the soul. The first one here I did do, the second one I didn't, which was the 5-minute pause on work days to horizon stare, let my mind wander. That one was nice and easy. I try to pair up with just walking at lunchtime and going for a walk down to the bottom of the street that we live on and back. So that one was nice and easy. And then sharpening the family philosophy. Now, I did talk about it with my wife, but we didn't really like review and converse about it very much. So I was like, nah, need to do better with that one or do more with it. So for that one, I gave myself a no. So it's actually I had 7. I only got 4 done for that particular month of October. But the one that did take up a lot of time was the running for sure.
Yeah, and just getting sick doesn't help.
Yeah, definitely not.
Multiple
things. The previous month, I didn't achieve the 150 kilometers of running because of sickness. It once again threatened, but thankfully it was like right towards the tail end of it, and I'd like banked up a hell of a lot. I think I was at 100 kilometers by about halfway point of the month. Yeah, so that's good. I was like, I could run a negative split that was worse in the beginning, and I could make it. So it's a good way to front load it.
Nice. Well, I had a great month. I did pretty much everything on here. I'm just trying to think if there's anything really worth calling out. And
one of the things I want to change, and I don't have it, but I think I want to change moving forward for monthly goals is that I can envision that some people listening to us talking about the monthly goals, especially the month pass, good. It's like, okay, fine. And I do this on my own personal note taking for like my month that's gone by. So I don't know if I could leverage that, but it'd be good for us to both pull out like, what's the like 1 or 2
learning
effective philosophy, action learning, whatever. Sure. I feel like sometimes people like, yes, us talking about, we did this goal, we didn't do this. I feel like sometimes it might be worth pulling out like, I'll give you off the top of my mind. For me, I think from the running perspective, one of the learnings for me was the 160 kilometers was pretty much at the top edge of type of volume I think I could withstand without it impacting more. Like I almost started to feel like, okay, that's my limit on the time investment I'm prepared to make, the things I might take away from my training, all of those things. I went, that's hitting my tippy top, which is nice to feel. It was like, I could see, and I'll talk about it for the November goals, but I was going to put 200 kilometers of running. Yeah. And I actually went like, nah, that's going to be detrimental to a lot of other things. And I'm not willing to go to that point versus hitting. Now I'm saying if I'm going to prepare for a marathon distance and whatnot, I think I could do it within a 150, 160 kilometers of running a month type of distance.
That's useful knowledge because what you'll see in my next goals that I just want to go through all of my old notes when I did get really fit. I'm going to say like 2021, 22 with the running, whichever year that was. I wanted to see how much I was actually doing. And so having that data point of like, 150K a month is what you thought you could kind of handle is I'm probably very, very similar if that. I guess for me, some of the like main learnings was sometimes even just setting a really easy one, i.e. spend one afternoon doing some approaches. I did that, I think, on the very first day of the month. Was it then like, oh, okay, I've done this and now I don't have to do anymore? Or, well, yeah, it was. But I still did way, 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 way more. So it was just the act of like, hey, just get started doing it and then probably more find a way of making it a habit or making it fun. So
that's an interesting one because I'm thinking about this too as well myself, and it's like, would you I think for you, would you say it would be better, like it would be drive you more if you made it almost unattainable, like really unrealistic, like do 20 days, and so then if you do 15 days, well, at least you did 15 and you didn't achieve your goal, but at least you did 15 versus saying 1 and then doing it and then being like, hey, I've done it, like let's continue to do it. What's a bigger driver? For
some things, that would be a good strategy. As we talked about in models in Mark Manson's book recently, a couple of weeks ago, I want to get away from metrics and numbers when it comes to finding a partner. And that I don't think would help.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So setting like 20, it's more like, hey, do it this month. And then
the thing that has helped for me is like, okay, I've got a Thursday afternoon free. Should I go out? I don't actually like the aspect of going out, and I've always been like this. I don't like the aspect of going out and then this is all I'm doing and then coming home. I'd rather it be linked up with something, even if it's really tenuous. So, for example,
shopping. I'll go get some berries.
It's almost like a reward. Like, hey, you get to go shopping at the end of doing this, and shopping as a reward is a pretty lousy reward, but it works.
But it's something.
Going to the ballet classes on Thursday evening, I found, I'll go to the city beforehand and just wander around for a little bit, chat, and sometimes not chat, and we'll talk about that more shortly. But that is getting me out of the house and doing it. So that was a good one.
Side topic, but I did hear a recent conversation, Chris Williamson with Scott Galloway, and they were talking about, now this is in Britain.
God, I hate that guy.
Scott Galloway. He's an interesting, the way that he portrays himself is weird. Some of the statements he makes is weird, but some of it is quite sensible. But they were talking about some information that was coming, they were asking people, specifically it was British, but British ladies who would dress up, would look really nice, would do what they needed, and walk around the city wanting to be approached, wanting someone to go and talk to them.
Yeah.
I think this particular conversation was about like young men and the problem that young men are experiencing in even just, not even just in approaching. It's like, yes, I had a problem with approaching, but now it's like they're almost seen as it's harmful. Have you heard the concept of, it's like in younger females saying that they're going to get unalived?
No.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm not going to go on that date because I'm going to get unalived. I'm going to get killed.
Okay.
So it's like, and
what?
Yeah, I know, unalived. If anyone's heard that, I hadn't heard it before, but it was like,
why not just say killed?
Maybe it's too strong. They don't want to use that word. They want to use unalived.
Okay, sure.
In any case, it was this interesting like concept where they had talked to some females who like were out dressed up, wanting to be approached, and like basically just did not get it at all. And also, I mean, we were set up in a world, I feel like, in the last couple of years that made it so that people who were doing that were seen as like terrible people almost.
But was that is that during the night? Were they talking about like that?
I don't think that, I don't know. It didn't sound like it was nighttime.
Really?
It didn't sound like it was nighttime. Yeah. So it was odd. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Stay out there, ladies. I'm coming for you.
Exactly. Watch out for the ball man coming for you. It'll keep you alive.
Jeez. The other one that probably is worth calling out was the one of asking friends and family for deeper feedback. And I got a really useful insight actually from my brother's girlfriend. And I wasn't expecting it, to be honest.
Okay.
And
what'd you get? Can you share?
What's that?
Can you share what it was?
Yeah. So and once again, forms what'll happen in the next monthly goals. Cool. But essentially, we're talking about, we'd actually like given her my dating profile, the fun one, which actually didn't turn out to be fun. So it was just a rehash of an old one I used, but for a reason. And Prentice was joking around saying like, hey, what would you message these girls? And like really pressing her. And it's kind of a thing that he does, and it's kind of unfair because she obviously like was like, oh, what do you mean? What would I message these girls? Like, I don't know. But one thing she said was when they were first dating and they were like, I think they'd met once, maybe twice, but they'd been talking for like 2 months, or maybe 2 months long, 1 month. And she said at one point, Prentice was getting sick of her kind of being flaky and not or really showing effort and wanting to go to dates. And so he was like, hey, look, I just don't think this is going to work out. It's like blah, blah, blah. And she said like when she realized she couldn't have him, that was when she wanted him. And, you know, that's a fairly not mundane, not obvious. It's a well-known fact. I know that. I've heard of this. Scarcity. I understand how that works. But it really put into context for me of like, oh, you know, the reason that worked was not because he was trying to do that. He was actually just setting some boundaries for himself. And I went, oh, fuck, you know what? This is a big problem that I have, which is kind of setting these boundaries and being firm in terms of what behavior I will like tolerate and not tolerate. And I'm always just way too like accepting. I don't want to have conflicts.
Sure,
all these sorts of things. And as much as I say this, it still influences my behavior in ways which I don't appreciate. And one of this was a date cancelled on me last minute, and it really fucking bothered me, and I didn't say anything about it. And it was bothering me throughout the whole week. And in the past, it's just been like, I feel like, oh, that's just something I have to accept. I get too caught up and too attached to a certain outcome, or something happens and it just bothers me for a while. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident that if I'd messaged her and said like, hey, like I didn't appreciate that, or I'm not really sure I want to set another date or anything like that, it would have made me feel better in that respect. And it would have also been a bit more confrontational than I normally am. So would it have worked on her? I don't know. Besides the point. The point would be...
Yeah, the point was more so closure from your end, as opposed to like
correct.
stopping from letting your mind being like, oh, but did I do this and did that? And it just being like, hey, hey, I expected we were, doesn't seem like you're interested. Yeah. Thank you very much.
And Prentice probably had maybe a similar reaction that you just did, which is like, oh, well, you don't want to be doing that for every fucking single emotion that you feel whilst texting.
Sure.
You know, so there is obviously a limit to this, but that was one where it was obviously annoying me, making me feel shit, and I should lean into investigating that more and trying to solve those rather than just letting that simmer for a week. Yeah. So yeah, that's the main ones for me. I pretty much did everything else. So
good.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's have a look just before we look into the future ones as well, coming in November.
Yep.
Anything we want to call out from any of the support or anything else?
So I just see Cole in the chat. He's saying, let's get these goals.
Let's get these goals.
I don't believe anyone has talked about or sent in any of their goals for these months. If Cole writes it right now, that'd be good. But yeah, you know what? The support aspect actually can show up in many different ways. I'm going to chat with Cole tomorrow about a business opportunity.
Okay.
Actually related to VFriends.
Okay.
So, because there is some boxes that can be acquired and sold, and having someone in America
makes it much easier.
Is actually a lot more handy than shipping them here and then trying to do
resell
things
them.
like that. Yeah,
yep, correct.
So yeah. If you join in on the Mere Mortal Brigade, the Mere Mortalites, there's potential opportunities for you as well. So
there's some financial benefits that you may come out. Yeah. There's not financial advice. All right, but let's look at November 2025 goals. So mine, again, I pared them down. Like there's just been a trend for the last couple of years that, you know, I remember getting comments in like 2021 or 2022. I had like
36.
29 annual goals and then like 16 monthly goals, and how the hell am I getting all these? And look, again, it's because back then a lot of those things now become just my like normal everyday life now. They've become habits. They're just things I do. Like I could have put probably 2 years ago, a month ago, that it's like wake up every morning and go through my daily journal and preparation for the next day and do this, do that, do this, do that, do this. It's like that's all now part of life, so it doesn't become a monthly goal. So I don't see it as a bad thing. I've got 5 monthly goals for November. I'm pairing it up with Movember. So usually with Movember, for those who might not be aware of Movember, I believe there's like 5 different ways you can be supportive of Movember, which is in relation to growing a mustache. There's movement. There's like checking and being awareness for like testicular cancer in general, depression. So all that run of things. And usually I do movement. I'm always in two minds whether I put something to like actually raise the funds for it, or if I just do it as part of movement, right? It's my little thing. But I'm going to put the fun video I wanted to do was in relation to like Movember / the movement. So I'm aiming for 300 kilometers this month of movement. Now, if you heard me just talk about before, and I said 160 kilometers running, that's like my top end. Yeah. You might be hearing them like, what are you talking about? What do you mean 300 kilometers? So I do have the ability with my watch to check my total movement for the day. So not running, not just walking, it's just like all movements of the day. And it's not as difficult as it sounds, because if I look back at the previous month, I was averaging 10 kilometers per day of movement. So they gave me 310 kilometers last month. That means I just have to repeat that same amount of movement for this month. Sure. So it'll be roughly about the same mileage, if you will, with the running of last month. But with the interesting side factor that I'm like, okay, if sickness comes up or something else happens, whatever, I can achieve that through walking or through some other types of movement. So it's a little bit easier in that regard. It's not as much running. So I will be running still quite a bit, hopefully, but it gives me a little bit of an easy way out, but still achieving like a big movement total.
Sure. So what is like, if you do like 10 push-ups, what does that equal?
No, 0, nothing. It's just, I'm not, because sometimes in some of those things, it's like if you do push-ups or if you do gym session, it counts to steps or something to that effect. Yeah. There's just movement in terms of swimming, running, walking, and then just everyday moving. Okay. Let's just say. So that's the only thing for the body. There's nothing in the 6 times body weight ratio or anything else. 2 in the mind, 1 being reviewing the opportunities versus skill sets and time. And this is in relation to the annual goal, which now had a big conversation with myself and ChatGPT the other day when I was walking around, being like, okay, annual goal was new product, $1 million of revenue, basically in the annual goals. We started pursuing something, paused it. So now I wanted to review like what are the opportunities versus the skill sets and time that I have. Again, I went through like the longest. Gary V did this video like a little while ago, being like, I did a 39-minute prompt the other day to do something, and I actually see the benefit now of doing like really long prompts, and by that just purely audio, like definitely not through like chatting. But I've found myself going for a walk and then maybe for 20 minutes just kind of going, okay, just talking it out, putting all these thoughts and whatnot, and then letting it kind of create a bit of a summary, create some detail, and then kind of go back and forth with it. So it's sort of like that. I need just half an hour of just kind of like going back and forth and reviewing that. Sure. That's kind of the aim for that particular one. The third one is testing the interview this month to clean up and automate even more information. So I've got another one this coming Wednesday with a man called Orlando. That will be quite interesting. I think he's very different in comparison to a lot of the people that I've talked to in the past. Okay. So that tune in for that one. That'll be fun. And then 2 in the soul. So one is on my planned walks this month. It's been one of those kilometers with no input, music or podcasts, etc. So that's just taking the headphones off. Again, kind of connects back to the reviewing opportunities, but I have found, and this goes back to my annual goals of the weekly stillness and monthly stillness. I don't do this, and you could say it for whatever reason, but I just don't enjoy doing nothing. So it's almost a forceful of like, no, go and do nothing for a little bit, not the whole time, but just for a little bit. And often, like last time I did it on the way back home yesterday. Yesterday I didn't run, I just walked like 4Ks. On the tail end of the walk, I took my headphones off and just did that. And you find your brain just singing through things. And I did some ChatGPT like prompting, and so it's helpful. It's helpful in other ways.
Is prompting counting as silence?
Well, it was preluded by about 10 minutes of like silence and like thinking in my head. It was like ruminating in my head, thinking of things, and then I was like, oh, I'll prompt that. So I'll try to do it like a kilometer.
So it's this kind of like my one where it's you just set one and then you're hoping that you'll do more sort of deal, or it's
no. Also like there's an every walk this month that I do. So usually I'll walk on lunchtime or something like that. Yeah. On every walk. On every walk it'll be 1 kilometer of that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then the last one is just talking with my wife about our family philosophy and how we might take the right actions on it. So again, how that applies to just a ton load of things, just how do we do it, how we review it, how we talk about it. I want to do it this month. So short amount, 5 things, but the moving one will still take up a lot of time. And then I think the more and more I think about it from a monthly goals perspective, at least for the now, and that's why I was kind of asking you the question of, do you see value still of like setting the fucking go 20, go 30? A lot of these are, I almost know what the things to do. And it's more, how do I put it? It more feels like there's a lot more stillness in my goals than there is action and like drive and vigor and violent movement. It's more stillness that it feels like the key is right now. Might not be a forever thing, but it definitely is right now.
Okay, yeah. For me, it's probably the opposite. I'm actually more.
You're like amping up.
More action. Yeah, and so getting into it. Like last month, I'm now doing kind of double for each category. And so I'll just go through this as quick as possible. So kind of create a reminder to maintain eye contact and smile. So once again, it's to not actually go and set myself the numbers of like every day doing crazy eye contact like Juan's doing in the camera right now. It's more just like, hey, this is something to do. You don't have to set numbers to it. Going to experiment, approaching with directness. So those ladies on the street, watch out.
He's coming. He's coming direct, man.
Direct.
He's coming unwrapped.
Relationships go along with you to an AI meetup. So actually,
have we figured out which one?
No, I need to do that probably today or soonish. And then organize to catch up with other go-getters.
Ooh, I saw that. What do you mean by that?
So there's just some people I've met recently. It's essentially very similar to the doing a barbecue with friends that I had last month, which
Yeah.
I failed because I did it on the 1st of November instead of in October, i.e. yesterday, and also why I'm hungover. These are just people who it's like, I've met them before. They are motivated. I know for a fact four of them set goals for themselves. And yeah, honestly, I probably could change that a little bit to be like, catch up with them to learn more about how they set goals. Not necessarily the goals themselves of what they're doing. So for example, one guy's Tristan, he's doing more, like he's really focused on university and work at the moment. The Eugenie, she had one about a spirituality goal, which I thought was really interesting. So yeah, it's kind of, I probably need to like frame it right where it's like, hey, I want to catch up with you and like for this reason. So
Yeah, no, the reason I say it is like, just very briefly, and unfortunately our 9 a.m. Conversation is probably going a bit longer, but the Orlando, who I'm having on Wednesday, he was like this guy where, like, super brief, worked at McDonald's, got dumped by his girlfriend, felt pretty crap. He was okay at like salesy and calls and stuff like that, and he basically made a decision like, nah, I'm going to get really good at this. Changed his like image and made himself look like real good. Became really good at talking. Became an awesome sales guy, and now does like sales and travels around the world doing sales. And does awesome approaching. Learn magic because he really liked magic, so now he approaches and does magic with it as well. And he's not a famous guy, but he does a couple of videos, and you can see him with the person who's going out and being like, he's approaching and fails, wins and whatnot, and he's really chill about it. I don't know if you actually would enjoy talking to him, but that's why I was like, when you say like people like that, do you mean, I was like, oh, do you mean someone like that, or like people like that, where it's like people who are just fucking go-getters, like they're just like, okay, I'm going to turn my shit around and I'm going to fucking do these whatever crazy successful thing that they think it is. I don't know if you meant that or if you meant just people who are like goal setting. Yeah,
more the goal setting, and like I think that will tend to be those types of people.
Sure. Okay.
So
yep.
It's kind of a bit of both. I'll watch your convo with him and see. Okay. Moving on. Overhauling backup systems of wallets. So I just have been experimenting with a lot of things recently. I've changed some, but I just need to change the backup. So make that a little bit more safer. Research traditional art valuations and cycles. I want to understand more about the investing side of the art industry, because I'm actually really enjoying kind of like diving into it and finding some really, I'm just, there's something so subjective. I love the paradox. It's so subjective. Like everything's art. Everyone could be a great artip, you know. This cushion is fucking art.
I honestly wonder how much is just tied to tax offsetting. Like I seriously, genuinely wonder how much is tied to tax offsetting. It's very easy. Like it is very easy to do tax offsetting with art in the world. Like I could. Do you know about it?
Yeah.
I think most people would kind of like get it if you like read it through it.
Free ports in Switzerland and shit. Where all the expensive art is in these, you know, warehouses which never get seen and things like that. Yeah, look, maybe that's what
I'm wondering. I'm like, I wonder if you look into it and be like, you know what? Doesn't seem like a cycle. It just seems like it's all in relation to like tax offsetting or something in relation to that. It might not be, but might not all be like, but for sure there's some big amount that is like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking more the historical type things of, you know, why was Leonardo da Vinci's works or Picasso, why you know, and especially more the like modern ones or people that get found after the fact, what is the valuations typically of like rarer, why do certain things get rare, for example, or really well known, Warhol's prints, how did the smaller editions go to like larger editions, things like that. So yeah, all things related to that. I'm just finding very interesting. I did a whole bunch of one-arm handstand recordings recently. I just want to make that into a video. And I said review a historical plan of like my pull-ups and running. So I just want to see how much volume I was doing when I injured myself for both the pull-ups, getting tendonitis for the first time, and for the running. I don't think I injured myself, but I just want to know how. Yeah, I was going to say what I was kind of peaking at.
Mine, off the top of my head, I think I was doing 400-ish pull-ups per week, and that was hitting the limit of like I was starting to get injured or starting to like frail my bloody tendons and stuff like that. But that one definitely, unlike the running, I think would be very individual. Like everyone's going to have different tendons and age and all that sort of stuff. A whole lot of things.
I've learned to pull with my back a lot more rather than
with your arms.
Yeah, with my arms. So that's a good thing. Improved fashion, daily appearance, presentation. I got to say, I'm actually already failing this right now because I'm wearing the clothes from yesterday. So, like, not a good start for this one, but hopefully I'll bring it back.
I was actually, you know what I was going to say earlier? I was going to be like, Kyrin's actually dressed up all right, but I didn't actually realize it was from yesterday. So,
I do have another shirt in the car for when I go out.
Might be neutralized.
But yes, and the improving fashion portion of that is just doing a bit of an overhaul, especially my gym stuff.
Sure. Yep.
There's a whole bunch of it's just like ratty and old and fucking
some new stuff. Yep.
Be uncomfortably firm in my standards. That's what I was referring to before. So just related to all things, I guess, not even just with women, but personal
nature
stuff as well. Yep. Going to do a tour of one of the potential apartments in Newstead.
Cool.
Do that. I've actually had some thoughts around Newstead and Kangaroo Point again. So don't know if it's worth talking about here. Maybe off air. Renew my passport and service car. It's kind of like related to Asia, I guess, somewhat. But I need to service this car, man. I just really don't want to. I hate doing it. It's a pain in the ass. Last ones here, which were related to like the sexuality stuff for this year. So in models, there was I don't know if he called it a thing, but he had like these masturbation guidelines, for example.
Techniques.
Which is honestly, it's very, very boring. It's once a week of a girl that you've met in real life, and you're not like doing any of fucking edging or any weird shit, anything like that. Blah, blah. So it was like, all right, I've done my 1 month. What was it? The orgasm obstacle avoidance.
I can't remember what Tim Ferriss or someone else called it as well. They had some similar naming for it as well.
Yeah. But
it was like no drinking.
That was last month. Actually, that was probably one. I really noticed it. I was starting to get antsy. And fuck it, I'll divulge it. Wet dreams. Had a couple.
Ooh,
yeah.
There you go.
Not fun.
Yeah.
Because then you have to just fucking wash your sheets. So obviously,
there's some cons.
Those people who not only like completely no fap. How do you avoid wet dreams? I want to know that first of all, and then second, the psychos who have sex but won't orgasm. There's one guy, I think it's like Jesus Hotep or Hotep Jesus or something. You heard of him?
No.
He's on Joe Rogan a couple of times, and he talks about like he's a crazy black guy, and he's just talking about like you retain the semen and you get the energy.
Oh, maybe I have that particular quote. Yeah.
And I don't know how that dude like lit. I found it very uncomfortable. Like the antsiness was very uncomfortable.
Very
I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
Maybe he enjoys that. Gonna still try cut a little bit. So total of 85k calories. So it'll be about just less than 2,900 a day, and 150 grams of protein daily for 44,500 total. And then last one, thank you for your input. Create a decent personal Instagram, but no scrolling on it.
Yep.
Not going to post daily. I must have written that earlier in the month and then just had left it in there because, what was I even thinking?
Yeah, I don't even do that. I at top levels, I still wasn't doing that. Like, man, that honestly, you would have felt pain to do that.
Yeah, I would have hated it.
At the week, you'd be like, what is this?
I would have hated it. And then last one is pruning the Mere Mortals X feed. So I've actually got 3 different X accounts now on Twitter, which I use for various purposes. And I've got like a Mere Morpheus one, and that's just all AI related stuff. I've got a personal one, which is more like the art side of things. And then there's the Mere Mortals, which we've had forever. But that's kind of like a mix of everything. It's just been like...
whatever.
Like husky people, and there's fucking random macro stuff, and then there's just, people we've had on the podcast or something. So I want to prune that into...
the right type of feed.
I'm not exact. Probably I'll keep that as like a general macro finance / world news type one.
Actually, interestingly enough, and I saw Meta, specifically Instagram, is doing a beta in the US at the moment so that you can actually go into the algorithm that you're getting served and specifically choose no, I don't want any more of these. I want to see more of these in my algorithm. Yeah. That would be really cool. I would love to self-select my algorithm for things like that I want to actually care about and see. I'm like, man, I'm supportive of that.
I'm even thinking of blocking certain words like Israel, for example.
I've blocked, I barely use X that much anymore, but Instagram, I definitely have blocked a ridiculous amount of things in my back end so that I only get selective things, and even now I still block a ridiculous amount of stuff.
How do you even do that?
You can go to a particular post and just say, rather than block the profile, you can say, I don't want to see stuff like this again.
No skinny bitches.
Oh yeah, none of those. But yeah, you can try to force the algorithm to do stuff. I mean, mine's heavily been heavy. The amount of stuff that I've been trying to be put forward, and I'm like, no, go to this thing. And if I look at my search page, I guess more specifically, it's almost now same but different, but it's the same type of shit that I do want to see there, which is awesome. It's good.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Nice.
All right, might leave it there, mere mortal lads. Again, if you want to share with us your monthly goals, do so by the comments, do so on the Discord, do it in all the good places. Yep. We won't take too much more time because we want to get into the meanderings, the musings.
Yes.
Straight after this as well. So once again, monthly goals. We'll talk to you in a month to see how we go with our monthly goals, and hopefully you're very well wherever you are in the world. Mere mortal lads, be well. One out.
Kyrin out.
Good.